Yo, 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 welcome to the show. Welcome to Social Sunshine Podcast. I'm your hostess, Brittany Cross, and welcome back to another episode. I want to talk to you about replying to comments with a video. And this is a cool topic I've never talked about on this show before. So I'm excited to share with you what this is and why you would want to do it and all the things. But before I dive in, I have to tell you, you can now text the show. Like you can text me and it will actually come to me. Like it's right there on the podcast platform that you're listening. If you're listening on a major podcast platform, say you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or something, just scroll down on your screen. You can do it right now where like the area is where they have the show notes and everything. And you can see that you can text the show and just tap on that and it will send a text. And get this, it will actually show up for me on my phone because I have the Buzzsprout app. We use Buzzsprout to distribute my show. This is not an ad, but Buzzsprout, call me. And that's a feature that they have. So if you are also a podcaster and you're using Buzzsprout, you might have this feature too. And I love it. I love that you can text and then it'll come through to me on my phone on Buzzsprout and I can see what you said, because podcasting is something that I obviously love. I've been doing it since the fall of 2019, but it's like a one-way conversation, like, I love a stage and I want to be up here and put on some sort of a show for you. But I also like to actually interact. That's why I love social media so much. I love talking with people in the comment section and the DMs and everything. So this allows us to do that now with the show in a very easy way. Like it's right there. It's right there on the platform you're listening. Just tap on it. And you can ask me a question about this episode. You can ask me a question about the show in general. You can make a request for like a topic request or even a guest request, like some social media creator that you really would love for me to have on, or you can just say, hey, all right. So text me, baby. All right, let's get into the topic. Okay. So this topic of replying to comments with a video is something I've never talked about on the show before. And it's very cool because honestly, it's a really simple way to do something that's really impactful and effective. And it's really a genius feature, quite frankly. And I want to describe to you what it is in case you're not familiar completely with what it is. And then I'll tell you why you should do it and some examples and some advantages and things like that. So replying to a comment with a video, the way you would know that has happened is that when you're scrolling, say you're scrolling through Reels or you're scrolling through TikTok, and you see a video where on the actual screen of the video, it shows like a little rectangular box and it shows like the comment the person made. It even shows their little handle, their little account name. And if they've done it right, then if you tap on it, you should be able to then it'll take you to the post where that person actually made that comment. So for example, if I posted a video that says, send me your requests for people you want to be on the Social Sunshine Podcast that are social media creators that you love, right? And say somebody commented on that video and said, I want to see who's a good example that we can use. I want to see Drew Barrymore on the Social Sunshine Podcast. And I'm using Drew because she, her show, they post lots of social media videos. All right. And so when that person comments says, I want to see Drew Barrymore on the Social Sunshine Podcast. Well, I could then, when I see that comment, I could actually reply, instead of replying that comment by just typing up a little reply, I could actually tap on the little camera emblem thingamajigger. It's very technical terms in this episode. And then it'll bring up the feature to actually create a video to respond to that comment. And I could, let's say, when Drew comes on the show, which also, Drew, call me, then I have a clip of she and I talking, right? So then I could reply to that comment with a video of me and her, and it's showing this person asked for Drew, and look at this. Now I have a video with Drew because she came on the show and right? That's just an example of how you could, you do it in any scenario. So what's the point? What's the point of replying to a comment with a video? And by the way, this video ends up on your account. It's not just this private little thing. It actually will post to your feed in the whole shebang, right? So it's just you're making a whole other reel or a whole other TikTok or whatever, but it's in response to something someone said on a previous post of yours, and it shows them. All right. So you may have seen also people doing this, like when they're trying to out somebody that was being rude to them. That left a mean comment, they might respond in a video and it kind of like calls out the person. But that can be a little controversial because they can actually request for you to take the video down. I've had that happen before. So that's an interesting scenario. But in general, here are some reasons why you would even want to do this and how it can be so effective and impactful for your social media strategy. So first of all, it's like, I think there was something in some sales thing I was in one time where they said, I feel like they called it third party validation, where essentially like if someone else is in the conversation, that it really helps like kind of validate things, or it helps raise your level of expertise or credibility essentially. So say that, you do this and somebody goes and they sees your video where it shows that like you're responding to somebody's comment, they can see what they commented. Like by having basically three people in the conversation now, like you, the viewer, and the person that made the comment, it really helps to level things up. It shows like that people are even engaging with your stuff, right? That's first of all. So that's nice because it's like, oh, look, someone actually did ask my advice on this topic of my expertise and I'm answering it in this video, right? So it really helps validate. It helps increase your level of credibility in your area of expertise, and shows that people are interacting with your content, which then, as you may have guessed, encourages more people to interact with your content, right? It's people need that icebreaker. That's why it's nice, like if you have someone on social media that's like either, your friend or somebody that you really love following or whatever, and they've posted and maybe they don't have any comments yet. Like if you are the first person to comment on their post, that really kind of starts the ball rolling. It breaks the ice essentially, and it's so good for our engagement rates and for our visibility, because the more people that are interacting with our content, engaging, the more people that see it. Listen to this entire episode on any major podcast platform. Simply search the Social Sunshine Podcast.